Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of When You Meet the Leader. I am your host, Vasudha Sharma. I am the best-selling author of Why She Must Lead. I'm also a speaker and a wellness expert. And I'm very excited to present our second guest today. I have with me Dawn Bennett. Dawn has spent her career as a tireless advocate for parents and children who are left behind or marginalized. In 2011, she took that commitment and co founded the Multicultural Education Right Alliance, where she serves as executive director today. In recent years, Dawn has served her community as a gang prevention specialist and caseworker for City of Seattle, the liaison for African American families for Seattle Public Schools, and basketball coach. In each of these roles, Dawn has woken up every morning with the mission of being the pillar of support for those of our kids who might otherwise fall through cracks in our education system. Ever since moving to Kent in 1998, Dawn threw herself into making Kent an even better place to live by being the best neighbor she can be, volunteering with multiple groups and local organizations to advocate for education and criminal justice reform. The work Dawn is most proud of is individual education advocacy for families who were lost within the system within Kent and Auburn school districts to help them move successfully and graduate. She is currently running for mayor for City of Kent in upcoming election in November. Thank you, Dawn, for joining us today and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. That was a great introduction. Thank you. I was like, "Ooh, look, is that me?" Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really proud to be here.
I am very excited to have you as well. And I know you as a friend too, so that adds to my excitement. So
Yes,
welcome again.
it makes it extra spicy.
It
Extra
does.
spicy.
So, first thing first, what is the most important message of your campaign?
The most important message is that we're for the people. In Kent, the people, the citizens of Kent have been passed over. And we want them to know that we want a back and forth open relationship so we can hear from the people, so that we can represent the people and be for the people. Second thing that is important is representation matters, right? If you have people of color representing people of color, the world will open up to everyone, and then we can grow.
Absolutely. I think that sums up in a very beautiful way that, we need to have a representation which speaks to everyone. I move on to my next question. How would you engage the Kent community with the new policies and goals that you intend to implement?
So it's really simple. The mayor before the one we have now, Mayor Suzette Cook, she had a neighborhood council, and each neighborhood was represented, and the neighborhood would pick a representative, and they would come and meet with the mayor, and so um, that helps a back and forth conversation happen if you are on a council and there's regular meetings. Oh, she's calling me now. Isn't that is that awesome? There are Mary, you gotta wait. There are regular meetings, scheduled meetings to meet with the community and different neighborhoods. So the neighborhood council is going to be really important, because when the current mayor got into office, that mayor got rid of the neighborhood council and did not engage with the community at all. And so it's really important to me to learn from the previous mayor about what worked for her, because I believe that Mayor Cook was a strong mayor. She engaged the community and she helped everyone.
Yeah, community engagement is huge in any public office, and
Yes.
the leaders who engage in community, who are there with the community, who have seen it, been there, are not afraid to get down and dirty, are
Yeah.
definitely what we need to bring the change. So that's very well said. Thank you for
And
that.
that's definitely me. I've never been afraid to roll up my sleeves and get down and dirty and talk to the community. My main goal was always to talk to those who were struggling the most, to find out what I could do to help, right? What I could do to bridge the gap between what was going on. And I was able to do that my whole career. I just did that because there's not a lot of people wanting to do it. It's hard work to just talk to the folks who are struggling the most because it starts spiraling out of control, the need. And so I started getting used to doing that work with anybody who would ask. And then other folks would ask me to help, right? There was always folks asking for help, and I was always willing to roll up my sleeves and do what I could. I can't do everything, and so you can do it.
Maybe we can clone you. And fit you. But yeah, that's really amazing. And I think that speaks volume about your leadership style, that,
Thank you.
you are like a people person. You are, you believe in power of connection. You believe in, trying to share the lived experiences. And, not only that, you also are not, you're fearless. You're not afraid to take on the challenges which are existing in the community. And, you just want to grab the bull by the horns. So that's all,
Mhm.
like, kudos to you to definitely have that willpower to step up. That
Thank
you
you.
know that puts me. Thank you. Yeah, sure. So that puts me into another question. That with the talk about defund the police, what would you do differently as the mayor of Kent when it comes to policing in our city? Like, particularly this particular issue of defunding. What's your opinion on that?
Yes. So folks have been saying in the community that I've been saying defund the police. I would never say that. I would never say defund the police. What I have been saying is that we do need to reallocate the money. Some of our city budget, more of it needs to go to human resource, not human resources, human services, the human services division. Some of that money coming needs to come from the police, and Human Services Division needs to have it in order to give services to those who are causing trouble on the streets. And so there are some that need some mental health treatment. There are some that need housing. There are some that have dropped out of school. Our Human Services Department can do so much when they have the resources that then it will minimize some of the work that the police have to do and take some of the stress off of the police. I think we have some really good police in our police department in the city of Kent. It's just that the stress on them is too much. And it's caused is this rub, that is this friction between the citizens and the police where no one is communicating. And so I would like to soften that up and get communication going a little better, where we can reimagine policing, where they also have a back and forth communication with the citizens. So the citizens are not afraid. It's not I'm afraid of the police. No, it should be that we have the police here keeping us safe and an open relationship with them. I just did a interview. I think they call it an interview or a debate with Kent Black Action Committee, and everyone. It was the mayor and I in one section, and then it was the city council members in another section, and then by themselves, right? Because of COVID, it was all split up. And I stayed and I watched everyone's interview or debate with each other, and they asked the school board members, the city council members, they asked them all about the police and had great answers. And they didn't ask myself and the mayor. And I think that is the number one issue that people of color want to hear from the current mayor and the person is trying to be the mayor. It's really important that folks hear from us. And the Kent Black Action Network just didn't ask a Black woman What are your thoughts? Like, I don't know why that happened, but we need our leadership to be forward thinking and bold and ask the bold questions, especially of leadership. All of the leadership, not just the school board members, not just the city council members, the mayors too have to be held accountable to what's going wrong. If there are some police officers who are breaking the law and killing folks, I would want to, as mayor, I would want to get with the chief and us hold those folks accountable, because our police officers don't want that around them themselves. They want folks that will hold folks that are doing harm, hold them accountable so the other good apples can do their job. So I wanted to say that on that forum. So thank you for asking me that question here. It's a really important question, because no, I don't say defund the police. My sister is a police officer. I was a social worker. And so we would both together share notes on what to do in our cities. I was here in Seattle. Well, she's retired. So I was here in Seattle. She was in Maryland. And so we would share notes and we would learn from one another about what to do to keep the streets safe. She had a gun. I didn't. She never drew her gun. I often wondered about that too. I worked side by side with police officers in the city of Seattle. Not a lot of them drew their gun in their whole career. So now we're at a time right now where folks that look like me and my twin brother and my sisters, and then brown folks like yourself, are getting shot for no reason. You know, in Kent, we had a young African-American girl get hogtied and put in the back of a police car. And all she was doing was sitting there crying on the curb, right? And so in order to fix that behavior where there's a bunch of white men just coming and hog-tying her because she gets real mad, we have to have training about how to de-escalate when a situation is getting out of hand. The young lady was crying. The police officer was asking questions. She wasn't answering. They were getting mad, and it just got escalated. In order to de-escalate and not have her hog-tied like that, that could have been me. That I'm looking at myself 30 years ago, right? And something would happen to me because I would have done. But the young lady was able to compose herself to just go ahead and just say, okay, whatever, but don't go against my rights, right? And so we should not have that in Kent. And I've wanted folks to ask me about that. So thank you for asking me about that, because that is really important work that has gone undone in the city of Kent.
That's true. I'm very proud of city because it's, I think eighth on the diversity index
Yes,
around
yes.
the nation. So it's definitely very unique. It's a special city because of, just different cultures. It's like a huge melting pot there. And not only that, the points you have said, the faith, the collaboration, we have to make sure, I think in any governance, the first thing is trust. People have to definitely have that faith and trust on system that it's going to work for them. And, the leaders are the one who can bring that. So,
That's right. That's why I'm here asking for everyone's vote, because I am a person who worked her whole career working on trust. I want folks to trust me enough to tell me their story so then I can start working. Kent, there's 133 plus languages being spoken in Kent. That is a lot of languages. And we have to do the work to respect everyone, right? To welcome everyone. And we can be the example. That's why I want to be mayor. I want to be the example for the nation. We are the number one BIPOC city in the state of Washington. Number 8, I think, in the nation.
Nation, yeah.
In the nation. And we can be an example if we're running. Right now, that's kind of patted down and not talked about and don't talk about it. No, we need to tell it from the rooftops. I need to learn some other language.
I love your energy. Great. Awesome. And that is what I think this is about. If when we talk about city, we definitely want to talk about, every kind of representation in the city, every kind of, even the most underrepresented minority. It should definitely feel very comfortable and proud of the city. And, I am very excited about your message, which you are sharing with us. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Well, I want to take a little break here. We are almost halfway through our interview. So thank you, Rainier Avenue Radio World. We will be back shortly. Hi, we are back, and we still have with us our very special guest, Dawn Bennett. She is telling me very, very interesting points about her message, her campaign. Dawn is running for the position of mayor for the city of Kent, and we are enjoying the conversation. So here's the next question for you.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people talking about homelessness and those individuals that are unhoused. What could city do differently about that?
My team and I have been on the doors for months. We've been knocking on doors, and the number one issue that comes up is something that, again, our city leadership does not talk about. Homelessness comes up. I remember I was on a door once of a newly developed apartment building or condominium, and I was like, what issues would you like to talk about? And they just pointed right down the street. They're like, listen, right over there is a problem. And they weren't talking like they would like me to get rid of them. They were talking like they would like all of us to help them. What can we do to help them, right? And so I was like, well, we're going to help them. I've been out and about visiting tiny houses in Seattle to see that model. I think the model of King County buying hotels, which our city leadership denied, I would like to bring to Kent. We're missing out on the bus of the King County resources being used in Kent to house our unhoused. I've talked to a homeless man on film, and I asked him, what can we do to help? And he talked about, we would like to have jobs. We would like to, if we can get some help, we would like to get some help when it comes to mental health. We would like to, we're human, is what he said. We're human, and we would like to get drug and alcohol help. We He was saying that we would like to do that when other folks that don't know them and won't talk to them are like, oh, look, they don't want any help. They don't want it. And he said exactly the opposite. I wanted to be a mayor that really knew.
Wow, I would love to see that. I mean, it sounds like really profound to me. Putting that spotlight and giving them a voice and, sharing how they feel. Because when we are trying to tackle a such a major problem, which is homelessness, there is no easy solution. And I think you are doing the right thing by, providing that, the direct observation, trying to understand, that head-on approach. I think that's amazing. But yeah, it's not an easy problem to solve, and I'm pretty
It's
sure,
not.
yeah,
And it's
and
going to take a lot of conversations with them, right? Being bold and talking to them, not around them and at them, like what our leadership is doing now. I think we've saved that interview for the last leg of the race, and so that will be up on my Facebook page pretty soon here, on my personal page and on my campaign page, probably in the next couple days. It was a
yeah.
really good interview with him.
Yeah, I love to see that. And there's a dignity issue too. We want to
Yes,
treat everybody with respect, and, we want to make sure that we are a good resource to our community, and we are, that's huge when we are trying to do the outreach. So, thank you for sharing, your recent experience, and I'm very excited to see all the great work which is going to unfold. Um, so, just I'm just curious, what has been your favorite song during the campaign? How do you de-stress? What do you do?
I love that song by Mary J. Blige that the Vice President Kamala Harris was using. Work that by I love that song. I love Chaka Khan, and Chaka Khan came out and did a fundraiser for us for women of color running for office. Did a fundraiser, and so I have so much respect for that sort of work, and I love Chaka Khan. So Mary J. Blige and Chaka Khan, and then I used. I was raised in the '70s, and so whenever I get lost to find myself, I go back and listen to the music from the '70s, Stevie Wonder and the OJs and all those guys. And sometimes I fall all the way back to the '60s because that's the music that used to
Oh,
teach us, right? It used to tell some of the great stories, right?
it's
Yeah,
yeah, I can fall asleep to that music. It's so, I love to. It's so relaxing. Stevie Wonder, definitely my favorite too. And I just, I think that's definitely music is great way to not only inspire, but also to take that stress away during the campaign. And
yeah.
I know I've seen you personally. Every day I see your energy and the smile you have, and
Thank you.
the
Thank
purpose
you.
you have. So I was, I'm very, very happy to know that you take good care of yourself. So
I do.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And our city, we need to bring some personality to our leadership. We need some personality because we are the number one BIPOC city in King County. And we need to show the personality of that, the love of that. Folks really like to think that cultures fight each other. We don't. And when we come together, it's a beautiful potpourri of beautiful culture from everyone.
Yeah, I truly, truly, I want to echo that. Diversity is about celebrating the differences and enjoying them, not about highlighting the differences.
I know there used to be a show. There used to be a show called "Celebrate the Differences" with Enrique. I don't know, but we had a show here and they canceled it, and I'm like, that's
Okay.
that's the biggest mistake. But it was
Well, but I'm very happy that you are in alignment with the message, because I think that's the true spirit of diversity, that
yeah.
celebration. And yes, absolutely, I believe in what you said, the personality in leadership. I think that adds so much flavor and color and likability. So thank you for sharing your favorite songs, what you do. I just I just love that candid part of yours.
Thank
So
you.
absolutely. So, that brings me towards one of a very important question, which,
Mhm.
many people have asked at various times during the campaign, and I'm sure you must have heard it before. Would you lift the moratorium on marijuana sales in Kent?
I absolutely would. I mean, we haven't talked about it. No one has asked me a question about it, but absolutely, when it comes to needing resources for the homeless, um, some of the money that we collect, some of the taxes that we collect from marijuana sales, we can use some of that. On average, it's about $1 million. Our mayor has been saying that it only brings $60,000 to a city. That's nuts, and nobody will believe that, because if that's all that it brings, cities wouldn't be doing it. And so she shouldn't say that. On average, it brings every city $1 million. So can you imagine if you're operating over the average, what it would bring, and how we can then help our homeless. Kent has amazing people in it, and these amazing, they're so nice. I went out meeting them and they were so beautiful and nice. And when they wanted to help the homeless, They also wanted to know where I was going to find the money, right? I need to find the money through selling marijuana. There were folks saying, I'm going to vote for you just because you're going to lift that. I can't believe that we have to drive to other cities just to recreate in our own city. And so that came up on the doors also. Not as much as homelessness, but if you tie the two together, you have recreational marijuana, funding the help that folks want to give to the homeless. Folks don't want to just make our homeless go away. Like our leadership right now would like our homeless to just disappear. Well, that doesn't work. It has never worked. We just continually get more homeless. And our neighboring cities, I want to align myself with what they're trying to do, because homeless people, they don't just stay in one spot. Yes, they want to come home, but they go where the resources are. So they're forced to go from city to city. If they're doing that, we should be aligned in how the resources are given. So if they do end up in another city, they can get the same thing and come on right back home. We got the same thing over here. And cities have to work together. You know, there's a group of mayors that are not going to lift the moratorium. I would leave that group. There's a group of mayors, our mayors in that group. I would leave that group and I would lift the moratorium so we can do our own thing. And I would partner with other cities who have resources to help their homeless.
Beautiful. I love that, you're not scared to, carve out a path, and
Nope.
that's what leader do. So
Thank
that's amazing that, you have a purpose with your agenda on this particular topic, and, you're not scared to take the first steps. So
Thank you. I
thank
just
you.
need the voters to vote. We don't have a lot of people voting in Kent. So I'm hoping that I'm going to put a fire under them. And I just need them to vote and vote for me. Don't vote for the wrong person.
Absolutely, everybody. Very, please
Thank
go
you.
out to vote. Please go out to
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dawn, for joining us. And it
You're
was a
welcome.
pleasure having you. Good luck. And, we wish you a lot of success. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
And happy birthday to you. And congratulations. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yay. So thank you, Rainier Avenue Radio World, for the opportunity to present this episode. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. Have a great evening. Until next.